In theory, we are now live and visible.
Yes,
We are
fantastic.
indeed. I can
Lovely.
see us.
And
So,
if only we can prove that they can also hear us.
can you hear us, Twitch?
Can you? Can you?
Let's have a quick
Can
check on my
Can
Twitch.
you hear us, Twitch?
Let's have a quick check. Yes, and the music and everything. Oh, I need to double check that they can hear me. And the music and everything. Yes, they can hear me too.
Echo.
Amazing. A success then. Who would have
Nat
thought
20.
that the technology is on my side today?
That's right, it is.
Yes, it's about time, really. Cornelius. Cornelius. Has anyone seen Cornelius?
Okay, we're gonna get this show on the road. This is.
Let's do it. Let's fan. Yeah,
is,
fantastic.
Did it all?
I'll find my introduction text in my wad of information for today. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Adequate Company, a 4-part weekly online adventure game improvised comedy show. My name is Matthew Watson Jones, and I am your host and game master. Similar to typical Dungeons & Dragons games, I have prepared a quest for my players. However, just like in our Monday night show Quests of Yalpalor, my players will not be only playing their own characters and details and actions, but they'll also be inventing details in the moment, bringing some hilarious unpredictability to my world, and perhaps even playing some other characters. I've gathered 4 hilarious improvisers and actors from around Europe to join the world-renowned adventurers guild named the Adequate Company. Please say hello to Charlie, Jada, Isaac and Yana, my 4 international improvisers. And to introduce their characters, the poetry of death meets the existential dread of boredom in life, Orpheus Symphomotus.
When are we going to finish this? Because I'm getting bored.
She's old, she's bold, and she has no idea why she's here. Want a hard candy? It's Aggie Ababa.
Has anyone seen my cane? Anyone at all? I don't know where it is, and it's getting really frustrating. Anyone? Anyone?
Smell that? That's the cosmos. And cookies. And old caramel.
Nice to see you all on this late evening. I'll be sad to miss you when I'm back in the stars.
And finally, the ultimate companion in battle and on a walk, whose most fearsome weapon is his puppy eyes, probably. It's Buddy Buddy Ladybug.
They say a dog is a man's best friend, but I'm also the worst nightmare of my enemies.
And an old woman's best friend.
That's true.
It was
Before we
International
jump-
Women's Day yesterday. Don't forget the women.
Never.
Before we jump into the final part of this adventure, I've got a bunch of people to thank for all their help. For Dungeons & Dragons map designer Afternoon Maps for my maps for this game. From Figment RP, Itamar and Trent have helped out massively in every step of the process. Tabletop Audio for the in-game music, and Roll20 for our online platform. Are you all ready for the recap?
Yes, absolutely.
What
That's-
happened? What happened?
Last time on Adequate Company. Our Adequate Company of adventurers from the guild named Adequate Company had taken a quest from an elected Persiduke to find the cause of some very disruptive spore dust clouds that were spread all around the Duchy of Duffy. They saved a dying giant spider in the forest, scared off some goblins, and arrived at a cave with a troll in it. The captain of the City Watch had set off ahead of them with some men, and those men were now mostly dead at the hands of the troll, although there was no sign of the captain himself. And at the back of the cave, there seems to be a mysterious tunnel leading further into the hill.
I definitely didn't remember we found a tunnel. That's so exciting.
Yeah,
That is brand new. I mean, Aggie's senile, but apparently so's Jada.
Haha. I remember Orpheus being very suspicious of the Knight Captain. He just left his soldiers behind and went through the tunnel as if he knew where he was heading. Suspicious.
Yeah, he's probably behind everything.
He sounds like a strange man.
You know how this wouldn't have happened? This wouldn't have happened if the Wicked Witch of the West would have won the elections. Just saying.
I wonder if Wicked Witch of the West is a public IP because if anyone ever like found this and was like, and like
I mean,
I'm
there could
pretty
be
sure it
multiple
is.
Wicked Witches of multiple Wests. Like, it could
That's
be the west
true.
of our country, which is actually the east of another, which is then, the north of another. Like, it's a relative position.
and if anyone's listening, it's a witch of a West.
That's right.
Yes. So a Wicked Witch of a West.
Or our Wicked Witch, or the Wicked Witch of our West.
I
Our
like
Wicked
that.
Witch of the West. Yeah, I like
west of
that.
here.
Yes, like that.
A
Good.
witch that is wicked in a westerly
Or
fashion.
really, guys, we just walk around, we be like, that West Witch.
It's like the West Wing, but without all the white men screaming about politics. Or
But you
walking
can
into
still play the game where every time she's on camera, if you put the little jingle bell hat in the corner, they're wearing the jingle bell hat.
Ahead
Nice.
of you is a tunnel.
are you sure you're
That's
talking
a
about
nice
this?
tunnel.
It's very dark.
I
All
turn
right,
around.
buddy, let me get back on you.
I turn around and look at Old Caramel and say, "Do you have like any more like healing spells? Because here's the thing: I have my own healing spells, but my healing spells also drain my own life, so it's like useless to use them on myself."
Wait, what? So are they healing? Are they healing spells or are they hurting spells?
Well, the healing spells that
You don't have to tell me twice. Let's give you a cure wounds.
thank you.
See if that is anything. Ooh, that's a good one.
It is a good one.
Amazing.
That's for you. I place my hand on your face, and I just channel healing energy right
On my
into
face,
you.
like are you touching my face?
Yeah, like right, like I have big moose hands, just right on your face.
How aware are you that I am dead? Because otherwise you would have felt that my body is cold.
I'm not paying attention. I'm casting a spell, and just giving
Fine.
you healing power.
Would anyone like a cake?
At this point, I look everybody and I say,
Okay, guys, let's do this.
and I keep apparently Age is on my back still. Is that true?
Yeah,
she's
oh
got you
yeah,
back
I'm like
on.
straight up on
Yeah.
your back.
Yeah, and I just and then I just rush towards the dark tunnel and I shout out,
Lady! Lady!
Oh, I love it. As Buddy's doing that, you just see Aggie turning, going, "Where are we going?"
Once I'm healed,
Dude.
I love it. We are in the tunnel,
Into the
Buddy and I, anyway.
unknown.
once I'm healed, I look at them going forward and say, nobody ever waits like for the tank. And I immediately summon my familiar.
You summon Christopher.
Yeah, I summon Christopher in the usual manner with my little short spell. Long lost lover, gone too soon. Open than eyes, look at the moon. May your soul come back from the abyss. Come back to me until our next kiss. And throw the bones on the floor.
Amazing.
That's quite a spell.
It's pretty intense.
And follow Buddy Buddy. And after he's summoned, I follow Buddy Buddy and
Okay.
Aggie.
I look up at my birds and I say, "Well, deeper into the darkness we go," and then I follow as well.
Okay. Buddy, can you make a dexterity saving throw for me?
Haha.
yes.
Do I also need to in case he fails?
No, you don't. Oh, okay. So as Orpheus and
Wow.
Old Caramel head into the tunnel, they find ahead of them a dog butt.
A dog
Duck
butt?
butt?
A dog butt. A dog tour butt. And it's because Buddy is stuck.
Wait, is Buddy stuck where like Aggie is just like on a wall, like a rock wall in front of her face, but like that's where they stop. So Aggie's just like knocking on the wall. Like,
It's kind
excuse
of
me.
it's pinning him in from the sides, and
Oh.
Aggie's just on top.
Oh no. I'm like
Winnie the Pooh.
yeah.
Also, it's really dark.
Well, we could use some of that spider pus as lube. I've got some right here.
That's so upsetting.
I
Look me up,
Will do.
Aggie.
will refrain from making an opinion.
So Aggie pulls out like the little, like the vial of spider lube, and starts rubbing it on the sides of Buddy that she can reach.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Okay, Buddy, make another dexterity save.
All right. Wait, where's my mouse? Okay, dexterity. Nice.
On the wrong page. A
That's
9.
not
you
much better.
you get a little loose, but you're still stuck.
Oh, all caramel. I guess we have to intervene, and since you're like 17 feet tall, can you just like?
Does he add 5 feet every episode?
Yes.
Sure, he was 9 feet in episode 1. Now then he was 12. Now he's 17.
Like, are you like
Down
since you're like
22 feet.
17, you're like can like let's
if
just
he's
fool
17
him.
foot tall, he's also gonna get stuck. By the way.
No, he's not 17 foot tall. I'm being. Hey guys,
Ooh,
be clever enough to identify hyperbole. Like,
all right, friendos.
I go pool. I go pool and tell Christopher to pull as well.
I
Well,
help
you're
pulling.
behind. There's a big dog butt in your face.
Well, I'm pulling the dog butt.
You're pulling him
I-
backwards.
I also pulled the dog butt.
I would push the dog butt.
But oh, okay.
I would push the dog butt.
Let's push. Change the plans. Let's push.
Push.
You
push
can
the dog butt.
Both make strength checks.
Patience for my strength. Yeah,
But
va.
not a strength saving throw, just a strength check.
It'll amount to the same for.
For me,
Yeah,
it's
I
the
think.
same.
Fudge. A saving here. No, it's not a saving throw. It's a check. Sorry.
That's fine. So, all caramel, can you describe what happens as you try to push Buddy's
Orpheus.
dog butt?
I get up close, put my big moose hands on dog butt. I feel how soft his dog butt is, and I just start slowly nuzzling and cooing to myself, being like, this is the softest thing I've ever felt in my life, and just losing the thread of what's going on.
And then I fart.
And I
Oh fuck! Did he actually fart?
Yeah.
So did Aggie.
If he actually farted, I restrain from using my strength on him.
No. Okay. Okay. Fine. Despite having a roll of 22.
Yeah, well, that's
chosen
what he gets for
not to push.
farting. I find that very disrespectful.
When Orpheus stops, and I just pressed it. When Orpheus doesn't help, Aggie also lets off a little noxious fart in their direction.
Okay, guys, if we're gonna like stop farting at this point, I want you to know that I'm not having fun anymore.
But this is hilarious. Okay, fine. And Aggie motions to old Caramel. Come, help. Give me a hand. And literally just needs someone to take hold of her hand. Can anyone do that?
I can do that.
I can
And
also
I do
give my-
so.
And then Aggie
Humanoid
casts
hand.
Enlarge Reduce on Buddy.
Okay.
And yeah, reduces Buddy's size.
Ooh.
Okay. Buddy is now, all of a sudden, he is 3 foot tall. And he can easily squeeze through the gap. And sort of Aggie's feet just slowly, as Buddy shrinks, Aggie's feet just touch the floor. And then you can easily sort of step off now that you're holding old Caramel's hand.
Yep. Well, we're gonna go much slower this way, but at least we can move. All right, come on, keep walking. And she starts sort of like hobbling behind. If Buddy has like any sort of rein, she's using it like a little leash. So she looks like this little old woman like hobbling behind her little teeny terrier.
Yeah. He's now the size of a really big dog.
You also have a bunch of bonuses for this, Yana. So this also
Wow.
gives you
Nice.
So the passageway is still pitch black, but as you sort of feel your way forward, you start to find that you are now treading in water. The water is warm, and it's kind of mossy under your feet.
This is very, very. I don't like this.
I call into the cave. Does it get less tight the more you go in there?
That's what she said.
Thank you.
That's what he asked.
That's what they asked.
And so, who's at the front? Is it? It's still Buddy, but as though he's on a leash, right? So Buddy's leading the way.
Yeah,
Buddy
I haven't gone in yet.
In a way.
No, you were already in the. You went in to discover like 10 feet into the tunnel. You found the dog bud, so you're 10 foot in.
Oh, I thought he was straight Pooh Baron. Like I thought he was.
Right?
I
No,
thought-
no. It was already dark when you approached a Pooh Bud.
Okay. So we're all now in the cave.
You're all now in the cave, and because you knew where that tight spot was, old Caramel, it was easy enough for you to maneuver past it.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Caves are funny.
Caves are.
Well, I can only hold the spell for so long, and I need someone to remind me I'm doing it. So don't forget to. What am I doing?
Suddenly,
Wait,
a
can you
head-
roll to see? Can you roll to see if you lose concentration?
Sure. What am I rolling?
No, ask Matt.
I
just
know.
thought
So
that'd be funny.
Matt, what am I rolling?
What do people normally roll for? You roll whatever your spell casting ability is
Charisma, then.
against your own DC.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I save.
you
With a
remember?
disadvantage, I save.
Amazing. I'm sure that's not how you do it, but it's worked, so it's fine. You still have concentration.
Yes.
You ahead of you, you can suddenly see daylight, tinged with a strange glow, and as you get closer, you can hear voices echoing.
Marco.
There's
Ooh, bear.
no response. They still
Can-
sound
can
quite
we-
far away.
We cannot hear what they say.
Roll perception.
I would like to send one of my birds through the cave and transmit to me what it is they hear.
I stop you for a second. I put my finger up and say, "Old Caramel, wouldn't you think that they will find suspicious that a bird is coming from inside the cave?"
Sometimes.
Yes,
they're
but would they
bird
suspect Amboto coming out of the water?
Ooh.
There you have an idea.
Ooh, that's good.
So
I like that, I
Aggie,
like that.
Aggie stops and fishes in her cleavage, and there's a lot of rummaging. There's a lot of bell noises and tinkling, and a couple of big sucking and she pulls out with one tentacle the very virulently colored Amboto, and just sort of unceremoniously drops him into the water.
And you mentioned this week that he's an octopus, right?
Yes, he's very much an octopus.
Okay.
Yes,
And,
because
and currently a small cracktopus.
because an octopus coming out of a cave is far less suspicious than a bird.
You don't know these caves.
Orpheus rolled really highly on perception.
As this is happening, I still try to hear.
Aggie, can you hear what your familiar hears? Is this
I mean, I would assume so, but also Eggy is not hugely competent. So there's every possibility that Amboto will try, and we have the trait, unfortunately, that if Amboto tries telepathically to tell Eggy what's up, that doesn't mean that Eggy will hear it.
That's true. It's like a 50-50. So
50-50.
roll a D100 or roll a D2.
Would it be a D2?
Yeah. The magic of roll 20 to just do a D2.
A
Wow.
2.
Yes, you successfully received the message from Amboto. And Orpheus, you also hear... Where's my script? That's not what you hear. Would you feel eating only mushrooms and bugs every day? No answer. That's fine. We've got all the time in the world for you to get used to it.
What?
Amboto is sounding very sad and kind of pathetic, and seems to be talking to a mushroom.
Hmm.
I think we have to go find a mushroom.
Did anyone else hear what Amboto said?
Nope.
Mm-mm. But
Technically,
I can tell you that I think the one, like, dealing with the mushrooms is ahead, almost like for sure.
How many men did you bring? And it wasn't enough to kill the troll? Did you even train them?
Oh, he brought the troll. And now he's talking about how inept someone was about the troll.
It's the guard captain. The guard captain knew about this all along. He brought the men on purpose.
No, that sounds silly. That sounds very convoluted.
So,
Should we
As
go
you
forward and
continue-
investigate?
to go forward.
yeah.
Thank you.
Matt?
Yes, you do. And as you continue to go forward, you arrive at the entrance to a giant chamber. And I'm going to just change the picture so that
I do have a giant chamber.
Take me to your giant chamber.
This is a giant chamber.
And I'm gonna
we
need
had lots of conversations about chambers today.
Why?
Don't know. Where would Amboto be on the map, Matt? Just
Yeah,
so I
I'm
can-
gonna have to add him in just a
No, I can pull him in. I'm just wondering, like, where Amboto...
ahead of you to the northeast.
Oh, like there? I hope that's right.
Is this chamber illuminated?
Suddenly, there's two of these guys. The chamber is illuminated, yes, because there is daylight streaming in from the ceiling.
Ooh.
There, if you look straight up, way up above you, is a hole in the top of the cavern, and sunlight is coming through. I just want to make sure the audience can see. Right
I
there.
would say that once Amboto starts talking to Aggie, she's completely lost any concentration / does not remember she's been casting a spell. So I'd say Buddy's probably normal size.
Whoa.
Poof, Buddy just suddenly pops back up to full size.
Oh, this is more
there
like
you
it.
are, buddy. I was wondering, can I come back on again? I'm quite wet.
Yes, you may. If you don't mind the smell of a wet dog, Thor.
Oh, wrong one.
I can't smell anything anyway. I've been blocked up since '95.
Fine by me. Yep, Peter.
So, in this giant chamber, there is this water, this kind of bluey green water that you're walking in. It's quite shallow, and you can see it's very clear. You can see to the bottom, and the bottom of the water is kind of mossy underneath. It never goes deeper than like 3 feet deep, and the water is a little bit bubbly. And all around the room, all around the cave, are mushrooms. Massive mushrooms, some of them quite small. The biggest ones are 12 foot high, and they are chalky grey. But there are also lots of little ones, in different colors, glowing in blue and purple and green.
Eggy turns to Orpheus and goes, I want to cook some of these mushrooms.
All right.
I'm just saying, I think it would be very tasty or very bad. But either way, yummy.
I would
I
like to.
trust. Yeah.
I would like to roll a quick survival check to see what I know about these here mushrooms.
Go for it.
That's a 20.
So you very quickly identified that the massive ones are the ones that were producing the spores, the signals that have been the fear transmitters that have been going everywhere and causing all these problems. The small ones, some of them, even with a 20, you don't recognize. It's like they're new species. But some of them you do. Some of them are quite delicious. Some of the small ones.
I share all that with the adventuring party.
Oh.
As you
So definitely cook them, is what you're saying.
Definitely.
as you progress into the cave, in what order are you moving?
I think up to this point, Buddy has been in the front.
I'd say Buddy's.
But up to this point, like at this point, I think we're gonna have to rethink this.
Where did
we don't want the
Agnes
meat
token
shield
go?
/ the fighter in front.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe, but just it's like I turn around and say, "Okay, guys, this is like the super like cheesy narrative of like the big final fight. Are we ready for this?"
Oh, oh, oh! Yes.
What he said.
What?
What she said.
All right, then I'll go front with Buddy so that we are both in front line, and I'm guessing Haggy is on top of Buddy and Caramel is behind us.
That sounds reasonable.
Christopher?
Christopher is just next to me, always.
Okay, so it's a bit like this. Christopher in the middle?
On the outside.
On the outside. Okay. As you progress into the cave, the water in front of you starts to rise in a bump on the rippling surface, and it rises up until it towers over you like a wave, until it suddenly becomes clear that it is a water elemental, and it is advancing towards you. Roll initiative, please.
Holy fuck nuts.
Let's see if. Oh, I didn't get a natural one.
Looks like we're gonna get wet.
Well said, well said.
Oh, I didn't see the tracker. Apologies. Do we have the tracker up?
Tracker, let me check.
Now that's...
Oh, hold on. Yeah, the tracker's still got all the old information from last time.
You want us to re-roll initiative?
Yeah, let me know when to roll.
So click on your characters and...
Man, I got such a good initiative.
Do you want to stick with that one?
Yeah!
I'll let you
I'll take my
go.
17.
I'll
Oh,
let
I
you stay
don't
with your
care.
17.
I'm not gonna do well, so. Yeah, look, I got a 9. So it's
Ah, well, fuck.
Is that everyone? No.
That's,
yes, I'm
Christopher.
adding O'Connell, yes.
Put me in there.
O'Connell.
Oh, caramel, oh, caramel.
I hate like the last fight against the main lackey of the main boss.
I know, I just need to sort them.
All right, let's fight this tall drink of water.
Quite literally. The tall...
I'm proud of myself. That's my work for the night, you guys.
That's our show. Good night.
tall drink of water comes up close. He's going straight for Christopher, who is the closest.
Oh, I did not bring my own towel.
Yeah. Bad idea.
I don't mind getting wet, but I mind getting hurt from getting wet.
Okay, can you roll a strength check with disadvantage for Christopher?
A what?
A strength check with disadvantage.
For Christopher?
Yeah.
I think.
I think you might want to turn down the music just a hair.
Oh yeah, is it a bit loud for the audience?
I mean, I'm enjoying myself, but I'm also I get distracted.
Yeah, I'm not watching the Twitch because I've got to manage all these things. Okay, so the water swirls around Christopher's feet, and he gets lifted off the floor, and the water takes him and throws him across the room.
Well, shit.
Well, that's not good. I like
Christopher.
Okay, and he's sort of gliding across the water in this direction. In fact, he might go a little tiny bit further. And
Oh my Christopher.
then it's going
Wow, that's awesome. Yes.
it's going to turn back and slam into Orpheus.
Ow.
Well, that hits.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That's a resounding
Nice.
hit.
and that's the end of its turn.
That's more than what I was healed before this battle.
Oh,
Well,
Caramel.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we're
Okay.
either gonna get out of this alive or we're gonna die.
Those are those are literally the only two options.
Would you like
I'm
a
go-
hard candy?
That's my last wish, maybe. I'm gonna summon a fae.
Of course.
Okay. I will give you that token.
What is it? Fuming, mirthful, or Trixie?
Whichever one is better.
You should know that. It's your character.
I'm gonna go for fuming. It's better for combat.
Okay, and where do you summon it? Unoccupied
gonna
space
summon
you
it-
can see in range, 90 feet.
Let's summon it. Do you have a token?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy. All right. Let's put select you.
You won't be able to move it.
Oh, then I want to put it right here,
Okay,
Nice.
and I think it gets an action,
it does.
It does.
and it is. Ooh! It has advantage on the next attack, and it attacks with a short sword. I'm just gonna roll a 20-sided die and assume that it's like a plus something. It misses. Wait, it's advantage.
Roll again.
It misses.
It slices into the water, but it doesn't know appreciable impact on the water.
And as a bonus action, it can Misty Step. And I'm gonna Misty Step it right here, in front of the combatants.
Okay,
And that's old Caramel's turn for you.
buddy, Ladybug.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, you wet piece of work.
I rush towards and just do what I do best. Here comes Halbert Columbo.
So you rush towards him.
Yes.
Are we saying like up here, just north of the thing?
Yes. And whammy.
It hits. It
Yeah,
slices
baby.
into the water, and you can tell that the water is like some of the water that you cuts away and just falls down, and the thing gets a little smaller.
Nice.
There you go. You stupid splash.
And again,
Yeah. One more question, says Columbo. And here it comes. Die.
Aw.
that sort of slices into the water, but then the water sort of pushes it back out again.
Oh, snap.
Aggie.
So now Eggy and I'd say we're all pretty close. Eggy has been sort of like shaking Cornelius.
Mm-hmm.
I don't appreciate this. And as she's shaking Cornelius, she sort of knocks the scroll that she picked up from Buddy, and she casts Control Water.
Oh, this was the scroll that he pulled out of the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, it's freestanding water. You have...
Yes.
And I'm gonna move that bitching water all the way to the right if it doesn't save. So
what is this?
do a
Does
strength
it get
check,
an
I believe.
opportunity?
Strength saving throw.
Okay. A strength check on the... What's the element?
Spell save DC 15.
It fails. So,
Okay, so
as it moves, there's going to be attacks of opportunity.
I'm just
Yes!
double check a
We go one. Do
Four
we go
of them,
one
in
by
fact.
one?
So what I'm doing is I'm turning the water into a whirlpool,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sending it. I'm allowed to send it. I think I'm allowed to send it 100 feet, which is cool. So
Yeah.
how far does that get me, friendos? I'm gonna send it all the way over there.
Okay, yeah.
Send it 100 feet to the back as a whirlpool.
Okay.
And I think it takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage as I do it.
Yeah, makes sense. Roll it.
10. But yeah, and all you hear Aggie go is like, "Flow this."
As it goes, the four of you get attacks of opportunity as it comes out of your range. I'll say probably not Aggie because she's concentrating
No,
on the spell.
Aggie Defs doesn't.
But Buddy, you can roll one
Wait, wait,
attack.
wait. Would
Caramel, you
Amboto
can
get an
roll
attack
one.
of opportunity?
Sorry,
Mboto's far away.
Amboto's nowhere near.
What?
So
Yeah, I
can you
said
roll an
Amboto
attack of
was far.
opportunity, Buddy, and also Orpheus, and also
Yes.
Faye?
So what kind of attack of opportunity?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like
As a
what
whirlpool
what would enter within an attack of opportunity?
An attack with a melee weapon.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Don't wet your pants.
Just a second, because I cannot find my melee weapon. Here.
So that's all Caramel's was. That was to hit or that was damage.
That was to hit.
So can you now roll how much damage?
Yep, trying to figure it out because they make it real complicated.
They do.
So it's 1d6 of slashing, 1d6 force, plus 3 plus another 3. Look at that! Look at that!
Nice.
12 damage from my little Fey friend.
Nice.
Okay. And now the water has crashed over some rocks and bounced and spun all the way to the opposite side of the battlefield. It is Orpheus's turn.
Jesus, now it is too far for me to attack. Sorry, because now this development means that I need to rethink my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It's good.
Question though.
Yes.
I have a question. Within 25 feet of the vortex, anything that is around it gets pulled in.
I think it's far enough away from
Is it?
Christopher. Oh, you're looking at the opposite side of the map.
I'm looking at the other side.
Yeah.
10 feet.
Okay.
20
The stuff that the audience can't see yet.
Apologies, audience.
Neither can your players because it's the opposite side of a rock.
So we can do it maybe when we get closer, but that is going to happen. Is that they all have to do strength saving throws, and if they fail, they have to take damage.
Audience, don't worry about it. There is a number of somethings over there. I, as a player, have looked, but Caramel don't know nothing.
Oh yeah, Aggie has no idea. Aggie thinks that she's gotten rid of like the big bad for the record, everyone. She's just like, see, we barely had to do anything. Now, who's gonna help me harvest mushrooms, Cornelius? Do we want? We want the big ones. Yes.
You got a plan, Orpheus?
Yes. Sorry, it's not as easy to plan and look at spells because of range. How far am I from it?
So it's now just out of sight, I believe. Behind this giant rock formation that's in the middle.
I mean, we basically just have to move, don't we? Like, we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CFO.
So I move. First, I move forward. As I move, I say, "Well done, witch." But no, not like that. That wouldn't be like it was like. I laugh. I go like, ha 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 ha. Well done, you good witch.
Thank you. You're
I move to next to Christopher, and I'm still out of range. I cannot see it still.
You can, yes, you can just see it. And it's
Awesome.
50 feet away.
So from where I am, next to Christopher, I cast Death Bells.
Ooh.
Death bells. What does that do?
It's a cantrip. It's not that exciting.
Crap.
It makes. Well, I'll first see if it hits and then I describe, because otherwise it's very frustrating.
It's otherwise known as Toll the Dead. It succeeded on a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, he does. What kind of wisdom does a water have?
well, it's an elemental.
0. It's it's 10, so it's plus 0, but it just rolled a natural 17.
Oh, Matt, when does Mboto get to go?
Technically he goes after you.
Oh, that's fine. No big deal. I'll just move Mboto,
Yeah.
like here, but they're underwater and they shouldn't be able to be seen, unless you want me to do a strength
That's
check.
probably fine. The water's deep enough. And
Yeah,
people
they
are
have advantage
concentrating
on.
other things.
Mboto has a dexterity, they have advantage underwater anyway on underwater camouflage.
So, to clarify, Orpheus, that does no damage if the wisdom succeeds? Or?
Well, no, it doesn't do damage. It only does damage if they don't save.
Ah, okay. It's the water's turn.
Nope, it's Christopher's turn.
It's Christopher's turn. That hits. Brave Bolt, can you describe it?
Dave Bolt!
Yes, Christopher just like we attack at the same time. So even though my attack does not hit, like behind the wave of energy that I sent is this huge ball of necrotic energy that comes out of this like beautiful looking spirit.
Love it.
That's gorgeous.
Does Christopher want to move, or?
No, Christopher does it from there. Hits and maybe move just a little bit towards the water elemental, maybe towards here, so that he's closer.
Okay, the water elemental is gonna come down.
Can it? It doesn't need to do a check.
Oh yeah, that's right. So describe
Strength saving check,
strength saving check.
but it's still under the spell.
Wow.
So
It-
what else happens?
it-
if
It's concentration up to 10 minutes. So
Okay, so it can't move, and
No,
it's
it
still
can't move.
spiraling around, but it succeeded the check, so I think it's probably taking its whole turn to break free. No?
But he will be free next
still
turn.
we still have to calculate everything that happened within.
That space, yeah. I'm gonna say that you still have control over the water, and
moving.
move on to Old Caramel.
Well, I was hoping he would show up, but no matter. I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna move right here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw a guiding bolt at this dastardly pile of water.
Okay.
I have 2 more of these left. Guiding bolt.
Nice.
What
that
terrible damage!
And you've also got your Fey to move.
I do indeed. Have you let me move him? No.
No.
I'm gonna move him 30 feet. I'm going to
right
move.
next-
I'm
Okay.
gonna move him 30 feet next to Orpheus, and then I'm gonna have him teleport another 30 feet next to me.
Done.
Excellent. That is old Caramel's turn. That's all she wrote.
Buddy Ladybug.
Oh yeah. So how far can I move?
30 feet?
Really?
30.
Like Buddy's speed isn't like Buddy doesn't have.
Yeah, he's half horse.
That's
Then-
true, but he is
Yeah,
carrying someone
my
and it
speed
is
is-
through water, so...
Yeah.
But to be fair, Aggie gave her movement to Buddy because
How
Aggie
does
is.
that work?
That's not a thing.
She uses like her cane to like.
I wanted
It's a
to
battle!
I wanted to give it a shot.
All right. So can I move in like a eyesight range to the in accordance to the elemental beast?
You can, yeah. If you're here, you can see it.
Yes. Yes.
A question,
Yeah.
buddy. Do you have any range attacks?
I have a light crossbow. That's
I-
my
Okay, cool.
plan.
Because otherwise, I would have suggested you go around the rock.
Oh, nice. But
Or you do a dash action. You just use your turn to get as close to that as you can.
Pretty sure it'll come to us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
for the sake of variety, I'm gonna use my light crossbow. Does it have range? Is it even
Yeah,
like?
it's within range. For your light
All right.
crossbow.
It's time to wash my balls with your water, because I don't think you bleed.
Okay, and
I
you get a
look-
second one, I believe. That hits, by the way. That actually does
That's
damage.
amazing.
Oh,
Awesome.
and by the way, my
Slices some
light
water off.
crossbow is named Magnum. So trust me, guys. I know what I'm doing.
That one just goes pew, just straight after you say that, and it flies miles off.
Wait, how does it do? How does it do no damage?
0 damage.
Because he's got -1 dexterity,
So
and
it
he
just, like,
rolled a
hits
natural
the-
1.
So it just hits and like if it did hit,
It would do no damage. I
it
don't
just
know.
like come. That's very funny.
He pokes. He pokes him. He's like, "Pop."
I didn't know that was a thing.
Aggie.
I mean, Aggie's keeping up her concentration, so Aggie would like to give Buddy her movement, like or the ability to move on her turn.
Still don't think that's how it works.
No, because you can. Like, you definitely can. As in, like, I can just give, like, my turn to movement. We've done it before. So, as in, like, Buddy can move on my turn.
Jada, find it in the player's handbook because I believe that it could happen if you find it in the player's handbook.
Well,
then,
I'm
like-
not gonna stop a show to look in the player's handbook.
You're,
Yeah, I think.
That
To be
is,
fair,
that is ultimately up to you. Otherwise, I give up my turn because Aggie has to keep concentration on the water.
you're on his back. He moves forward 30 feet. If you then chose to jump off him and move forward 30 feet, you would have moved
No, I know, but
60
I'm saying
feet.
it's my
so
turn,
you
like,
do
it's
have an
initiative, right? So,
advantage
like-
in movement, but only if you then choose to use your movement separate to his. Does
The
that
way
make
I
sense?
had thought about it, and I love that I'm totally like lawyering at this moment, is
Mm-hmm.
that it's my turn.
Yes.
So I can prod Buddy to move on my turn.
Okay.
yeah, but
That's
that's
not how it
meta. That's not in the realism of the world. That doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm
Right.
riding a horse, then it's not like the horse gets a turn.
No, but then you already moved. You had your movement action when he moved.
Okay,
The-
then I do nothing because I
Then you
can't do anything. I'm
nothing.
concentrating.
You're concentrating.
No, but if you hold concentration, you can still do other stuff.
No, I can't.
Mm,
Aggie can do one thing at a time, friends.
Okay, we'll go with Orpheus's turn.
yeah. Okay. Yes. I move to just in front all Caramel. Pew pew.
Okay.
And I use again Death Bells.
Go for it.
Oh fuck! character sheet.
Oh, Matt, I just realized. Yeah, I'm holding concentration, so I'm gonna roll damage again because the.
Oh yeah,
the-
do it. That makes sense.
Oh,
There
then
you
do
go.
it.
So nine damage.
Amazing. You are killing that water elemental better than anyone. Death bells here. Pew.
Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Does not
So
succeed.
Yes!
That's the first roll, so that's
Bitch!
13 damage. More and more of it breaks off. It's now quite small. And it still can't move because she's still controlling her, holding her concentration. So
Nice.
it can't do anything on its turn still, and it's old Caramel's turn.
Yes.
Wait, Christopher, yet
Oh,
again.
Christopher again.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Christopher, do it.
Smacking into it. It's smaller and smaller. Now it's old Caramel.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
got this.
I don't though. Unless. No, I don't want to do that.
Come on, we got this.
I'm gonna guiding bolt him.
Okay.
My last guiding bolt. Let's do it. Why not?
I don't want to save the last guiding bolt for another.
Nah.
Wow.
Describe how your guiding bolt looks.
It looks like a small constellation of stars creating a missile, and it rockets forward and hits whatever is gonna be hit by it.
As you hit what remains of the water elemental, it just splatters into 5 pieces, and the water settles down, and it just sort of slowly drops down, and then it once again becomes one with the pool of water all around.
Ooh.
Spellcasters took this thing down. Spellcasters took this
Ed.
thing down.
Technically, Buddy took this down by dint of having given me a very important scroll that will also
True.
do damage on
That is
other
true.
people.
True. I think that saved us all.
Probably.
It did
It
Dimaggio
was
on other
complete
people.
random chance that you drew a create water
Oh,
scroll.
beautiful.
Yep. Yes, it is, and I love it. Love that.
I smile maliciously at him dying. But at this point, I guess I can kind of see the figures ahead.
You can, yes, as the water dies down ahead of you, you see an.
Can they please take? Because we've had 2 turns. They need to take 4d8 of damage each. Because they were
So
within 25 feet.
I'm just going to, for the sake of story, say that
Okay.
they were in the shallow enough water that they weren't affected.
Fine, that's fair. I get that.
We're still in combat, like in combat order.
You don't have to be.
What?
You don't have to be, but you can be.
I think I say, guys, I mean, sorry, that's a little bit like patriarchal. Folk, the culprit is ahead. And I move to here, and Christopher is next to me.
Okay. Everyone
And I
else?
just point my finger and say, you. In an over-dramatic pose, like, you.
Okay, anyone else? Are you moving forward, or is it just this?
I
Buddy,
move
buddy,
forward.
let's go. Come on, mush. Mush.
Okay. Fantastic. And the Fae, does the Fae stick around, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Great, I'll just line you all up here. It seems like some of your guards made it through. Don't move, please. It's this man you see in front of you, this figure, is quite a young man with long brown hair and a long brown beard, and he is completely naked. He does, however, have, and a slight call out to Questions of Yapalor, he does have strategic moss.
He has a what?
Strategic moss.
And are his nipples like teeny tiny little like enoki mushrooms?
Yes.
What's the teeniest moss?
Strategic moss, he has moss covering his private parts, so you cannot see.
Oh, I was gonna ask you if his pubic hair was big enough. Okay.
Oh, so not like tactical moss, you mean?
No. Strategic. Tactical would include covering his like little enoki mushroom nips.
Man.
Yeah.
For the record, I also want his hair to be that like those long, stringy like little mushrooms. It's like that kind of like gray mushrooms, just like but combed over Trump style.
There are some of those in there, but there's also a lot of brown hair.
Oh, okay.
What has happened to you, Mushroom Man?
Have you seen the Muffin Man, Mushroom Man?
I'm the Muffin Man. I'm the Muffin
You
Man.
better have some very good explanation, Mushroom Man.
Mushroom Man, I dig your style.
There's also this guy that you see is the captain of the watch. He is in a mushroom prison. There's mushrooms all around him that are holding him in place.
This is no longer fun, guy.
You knew my name?
Your name is Guy?
That's right. I assumed that this man never told anyone. But you recognize me.
I recognized the shape of your shroom.
Tell us your story, Mushroom Man,
Well,
and we will decide whether or not to let you live.
I didn't used to be just a mushroom man. I used to be Earl Guy. My father, the grand old Duke of Ducky, was getting old, and I knew that someday I'd be Duke. Whenever I told people that, they'd get a funny look in their eyes, so I told them often, Future Duke! I wanted to explore the dukedom and see parts of the land my father didn't care about. And I'd heard about this hot spring in the hills. And this man was my personal bodyguard at the time. And he brought me there! And he points up at the sunlight above you, the long, long way up at the sunlight. And then he pushed me in and left me for dead.
That's a little rude. Would you like a hard candy?
I would, but not yet.
Well, it's here when you want it. Also cake.
Are you meaning to tell me that, like, this man tried to kill you without your consent?
That's right.
I raise an eyebrow very, very high.
Hey, Mossman, you're a bad boy. Very bad, naughty, dirty, bad boy.
He doesn't have any morals. Get it? Moral mushrooms.
But
I don't know the
Why am I a
vocabulary.
bad boy? I just fell down. I survived all these years eating mushrooms and bugs and slowly growing stronger. But I couldn't get out. There were trolls in the cave. So I
Don't
was
worry.
stuck here.
We've
Well-
slayed them orcs.
The orcs?
That sounds very
What
shit-tacky.
about the troll?
we killed the troll as well. But,
Then I am free to
I'm just
return
very
to my
confused.
father.
Mushroom Man,
Yes.
why are the mushrooms speeding the fear spore everywhere?
I spent years working with the mushrooms and I finally found a way to make them shoot these spores up into the sky till I could send a message and get someone to get me out.
Oh, so the
Oh.
message was a cry for help.
It was a mushroom flare and not a crimini. Crimini mushroom.
Crimenia River. How do we know the
I-
story is true?
May I approach, Mushroom Man?
His story isn't true. And it's the guard captain who's been silent up until now speaks. Don't believe this mad mushroom man.
And you are?
We met yesterday evening.
We did?
I don't recall.
I am
Cornelius, we did?
Captain Pond of the Ducky City Watch.
I
Doesn't
remember
ring a
you.
bell.
The who from where? I'm doing this on purpose.
Oh, Eggy's definitely not. Eggy has no.
I am following the game of Aggie, but just on purpose.
This man
Not
was a mad beggar who came to town in raggedy clothes. He stayed in the inn with no money. I claimed to be a prince and he wanted to see the hot springs. I brought him here. And when he stepped up too close to the edge, he fell in.
And you didn't get him out?
No, I couldn't see if he was alive, and when I tried to enter, there was a troll, and I just assumed that the troll would eat him and the city would be free from trouble. But then all these spores. Many years later, and I suddenly realized it must be him, that he's still alive. But he's not the Duke's son. The Duke's son abdicated and left to go on adventures. Is that what you told everyone? That I left to go on adventures? That I abdicated? I'm the future Duke.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. Like, I don't like doing this, but I am like, because it's like racist, but I am like a Kalashta. If you let me touch you, we can connect minds, and I can read your thoughts and memories, and I can see who of you two is telling the truth.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Are you stepping forward as you say that?
I know. I say that from where I am, and I say, I ask permission to move forward.
That's fine. You can touch me. I'm telling the truth.
So, I move forward.
I'm gonna
You
follow
can sense
him.
the truth in a madman's brain. Be my guest.
Oh, shut up, you diminishing sexist piece of shit.
Can you describe how it works?
Here.
I offer my hands.
Mm-hmm.
He has to give me his hands.
He
We
does.
hold hands, we close eyes, and we connect psychically. So our minds link. And I get to see the info, like he just gets, I just explore whatever he allows me to explore. But he cannot, like,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that he cannot recreate a full memory out of a lie. So if it's a lie, I'll be able to see the holes in his memory.
You see, you see him as the Earl of Ducky. You see him in smart clothing. You see him ordering people around and people hating it. You see him trying to make friends and failing. You see him with the younger guard captain ordering him around, and they're marching up the hill. And then you see, from his perspective, him peering down into the hole and then falling in. So what you see is that he is telling the truth, that he is the Grand Old Duke of Ducky's son,
Oh,
but it's not clear whether or not he was pushed in.
I let go of his hands, crying and weeping and unable to say anything for a couple of minutes.
Did you hurt him? Did you hurt him? I'll hurt you, mushroom fun guy, I will.
No, I didn't, but he saw the sadness of my existence, stuck in this hole for 4 years.
Yeah, that sounds like something Orpheus would feel.
True. It's true.
It's lies!
So-
Lies!
So who do we believe?
I stop crying for a second, and I say, he is telling the truth. As in, I cannot tell if he was pushed into the hole, but, like, he was the Earl of Ducky. So this man is lying, like the other one, the awful man.
I mean, this might be talking out of turn, but no one ever mentioned him. Was he not going to be a very good duke?
It's possible, but
I'm
like,
the rightful heir.
I mean,
Tell me, does
genetic
my-
monarchy, as we might have learned from recent, important interviews happening around the world, is it's
Tell me,
less important, really.
Does my father still live? Does he miss me?
do we know if he lives?
You're who?
My father, the Grand Old Duke of Ducky.
The what?
The Grand Old Duke of Ducky, my father.
Do we know of the fate of the Grand Old Duke of Ducky?
Very long-
Do you?
very long
Is this
name.
information I've already layered into the story?
I mean, as a player, I remember
Um,
what happened with that. Like, we have a Prince of Duke, but as a character,
Yeah, but I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the old Duke. I know that right
dead,
now.
man.
He
He
died.
dead. He dead.
Oh, okay.
I also know that.
Awkward silence, yes.
I say, well, one thing. That, like, Ducky's now a republic, kind of ish. So, it's like they vote. So there's no rightful heirs to, like.
Right, but that's just because they couldn't find me. When
Oh, no, that's right. It's because he died.
When I go back, I will become the Duke of Ducky, as is my right.
I
Uh,
mean,
In fact, what if I even made it a kingdom? A mushroom kingdom!
Seems a little excessive.
Come, mushrooms! And like emerging from the side are a bunch of giant walking mushrooms.
Well, I feel like we could have solved this faster.
Well, you can choose to fight us, and we would do our best to kill you. But
Why would
you
I
can
want
also
to
choose
fight you?
because we cannot allow you
Oh
to
my
go
God.
and dominate. We cannot allow you to go and dominate the kingdom. You have to know that things evolve, people die, and the world must be reborn.
And we need to get paid.
Yes, that too.
Sorry, the audience couldn't see the mushrooms. I'm just sort of making sure they can.
They are
so-
fucking scary. I want everyone to know that
like
they are.
something out of Hocus Pocus. Like they look like Bette Midler mushrooms.
Yeah, they are like, yes, they do. They look fucking scary and like shit in my pants.
If the
He's
troll
still trying
is
to figure out how
dead,
best to cook them.
then lead me back to my land.
I
Hold
I
on.
don't feel comfortable doing that.
Hold on there now. The land is now a democratic something or other. How's about you and the mushroom people join forces with me and the forest people, and we can have our own kingdom, far away from what's already been done up in the people land. You'll still rule over many things, but not over people who will be surprised to see you return.
Well, they should remember me. It was only 4 years. Listen, what if we go back and then the people see me and they remember me and they all say, "Yay! It's Duke Guy or King Guy," depending on the title they want to give me.
Oh Jesus!
Rather just be a fun guy.
I look at him, and I kind of like very sadly change my face to one of compassion and say, "Mushroom Man, I've seen your life before. Do you really think that they will welcome you with open arms?
Well, maybe they didn't love me, but they should because it was my dad's dukedom, so they should. Some of them must have loved me, and some of them must just, like the old ways.
I love you.
You do?
Yeah, I can be your
Oh,
friend.
thank
I remember you. You have
You
some
do?
good in your heart.
You see, people love me. Let's go. Let's go to the city.
No need for a fight.
Folk,
I won't fight anyone. Why would I fight anyone?
ex-Earl, if we bring you to the city and they receive you with, like, hatred and shunning, will you go mad and, like, attack the city with your giant mushrooms?
No, of course not. Do you think I should leave the mushrooms behind?
Yes.
It would
That
be
would be-
wise.
Yeah, maybe
Oh.
come get them later, but they're scary. And I'm dead, so I know about scary.
Wait, you're
Okay,
dead?
so some people are scared of the mushrooms. Okay, I guess I'll come back with you without the mushrooms then. And then,
And-
if the people like me, maybe we could get the mushrooms later. Guys,
Maybe.
little
What I would
mushroom,
advise.
mushroom friends, stay here. Oh, but I wanted one just to carry this captain of the watch so that he could be tried for his crimes.
Oh, that's not necessary. I think it's safe to say we can probably control it. We have Christopher, and there's a Faye thing.
So you don't work for him?
No.
If
Nope.
anything, this man will meet my scythe sooner rather than later.
Nice.
We're a band of mercenaries called the Adequate Company.
I've heard of the Adequate Company.
Really?
Yes. You've done many great things.
And you will be one of our great things that we have done.
You'll. Yes, this is true. Great. I will hand over this man to you. And he commands the big mushroom that's holding him to bring him forward. And who does he hand him over to?
Give him to me. I'll watch over him.
Okay.
Tie him up, please.
I'm gonna charm person him with my birds.
You're gonna what? Him with your birds?
My birds have a charm person once per day.
Ah, cool. How long
Oh,
does
and
it last
also
for?
I'm gonna hand the fun guy a candy, a hard candy. Would you like a hard candy now?
I would, yes. Thank you.
I'm
An hour, okay. Well, that'll get you out of the cave and without any trouble, which is useful because it's navigating that difficult tunnel.
But
Yeah.
as he's charmed, I tie him up with my rope.
Excellent.
And
Ooh.
if he gets out of hand, I have some harder candies. AKA
And-
suggestion.
And I take all of his inventory and keep it. I just take his inventory. Every sword and-
him down like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, he's
Yeah,
charmed,
I
so he's
take
not
his
doing
armor
anything about
off.
it.
Yeah.
His armor I just let to sink in the water, his weapons, and I take his inventory on me. So he's half naked, no weapons, tied up.
Okay.
Just like we like 'em.
Wait. Sorry. Did you? So that was the guard captain. So you took the guard captain stuff. One guy, guy is just like more predisposed to like us, but he knows it's a cantrip, but it's like literally it's a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I can.
He's just, I think
He's coming with
It's
us, though.
been
He's-
so long since he's eaten hard candy, he's probably just attributing it to the deliciousness of an old flavor. So he's
To
not.
be fair, Aggie will every minute or so. Aggie will go. Would you like another hard candy?
Oh yeah, sure, thank you.
Yeah, just like little drugged gumdrops, and another one.
Okay. You emerge from the cave through the tunnel in the dark, and you come out here next to the giant troll, and he's like, always,
Dead boy.
I could never defeat him by myself, not even with all of my mushroom friends.
Well, that's what we're for. Would you like another hard candy?
Yes, please. And you carry on out. As you head through the woods, you find the sullen guard that you saved earlier. And he's like, oh, you guys, I guess, like, maybe we could go back to the city together, but it's just there's goblins in the woods. So
I think the goblins will know not to attack us at this juncture.
And also, would you like a hard candy?
I hardly suggest you take it.
you hardly suggest. Like, I guess, like, but only because I, like, deserve it, and you guys are like...
Yeah, treat yourself.
He takes it, and he's also being super friendly. And it's just, you're just gonna keep handing hard candies to these
Yeah, oh
people.
yeah. Like it's like Oprah. It's just like you get a candy.
I actually want a candy as well.
Oh, or
I feel like we're all taking MD at this point. Like we're all doing MD.
just makes you like it's like when you take it, Orpheus, I feel like specifically you just start feeling just like a little brighter, and then when you come off of it on the minute, you're like, oh, that must be what it's to be like alive, and I wonder what.
Oh, I love it. It's like, oh,
I cast good berry.
Okay.
Of course, once get in on that handover action.
Absolutely. Now we have 12 more berries. Oh, 10 berries with the can give you 1 hit point, or just make you happy.
How exciting!
So your journey back to Ducky is uneventful. And as you arrive at the entrance to the city, you see a teleportation circle. And you approach it, and the Earl Guy, who still has the title Earl, looks at it and says, "Oh, wow, my spell made it all the way here." And he puts his hands out, and all these spores sort of float up into the air, and they float towards him, and there's just a stream of spores, and they come towards him, and then they all settle on top of his head, and a giant mushroom just sprouts out the top of his head. And suddenly, the teleportation circle is clear of spores. Now the
Wow.
town
You are
can
You
operate
are
again.
a
I
very
didn't
nice
realize
boy
I
to
was...
have around, fun guy.
And as that happens, 2 people approach. One of them you recognize, the Presiduke, and another Orpheus may recognize, not necessarily the rest of you. It is a wicked witch who comes from a westward area.
oh,
It's a wicked witch of our. It's a wicked witch of our west.
Yes.
Love it.
oh, Aunt Melissa, nice to see you.
Darling, I was just trying to clear the teleporter of spores for these poor people who, you know, they didn't vote for me, but I still want to help in any way I can.
You're so altruistic, like so much.
Who's this charming mushroom man you have with you?
He's our mushroom man. Keep your hands off of him.
Good lord! It's the Presiduke. I do believe that is Earl Guy.
The tea?
People,
Now,
people
Yeah.
of Ducky! She turns and there's a crowd of people gathering around. This man was once supposed to be your ruler, but you voted for me. Do you still choose me, or do you choose the man who's tormented you for a week? And the people look around and they're all sort of muttering to each other. And then the Wicked Witch of the West says, "Oh, do you believe in the authority of birth, but also the power of magic? Because if you vote for me in the next election, I will let you know that this man will be my running partner." And he looks at her and he's like, "What? What?" She's like, "Yes." And she puts her arm around him. "A vote for us is a vote for a wicked time."
That sounds very, very interesting. Would you like
I,
to
I put my finger.
Earl Guy says, "That's right, you can..." Sorry, that's not his voice. That's the voice of the Captain of the Guard. "That's right, you can choose me in the next popularity contest. We'll work, me and this lady will work together."
I put my finger on my throat and I use thaumaturgy
Yep.
to make my voice boom. And I say, but before we make a decision on voting, let's remember that the captain of the guard knew that Earl Guy was trapped in a cave with a troll. He knew he was there. And
Gasps from everyone.
sincerely, at this point, I don't know if the current Presiduke did not know about this.
Everyone turns and looks at the current Presiduke. "I didn't know. I'll stand in a..." Oh, what voice is that? "I didn't know. I'll stand in a zone of truth. I swear it. You believe me, don't you, good boy?" And she approaches Buddy. "You believe me? Don't you? Don't you believe me?"
I've seen some weird ass shit today, so I don't know what to believe anymore.
Good
Anyone's
people.
godson of truth?
No, we're 5th level.
But the Wicked Witch of the West knows it, or of our West.
Aunt Melissa, would you please do the honors?
"Well, we must know if my rival has been using underhand tactics." And she casts it. "I swear I did not know. I only knew that the Duke's son left on an adventure, and I believed this man," and points at the captain of the watch. And he says, "Yes, all right, fine, I did it, I got rid of him, but he would have ruined this place. You should all be thankful. Because of me, we have a democracy. You should be making a statue of me."
You're a bad boy.
"No, I'm a good boy.
Naughty boy.
I am not naughty. I have done good things."
You have done self-serving things in the name of a democracy that your morals can no longer uphold. Put this man in some form of stockade.
And the crowd cheers. "Way! Stockade!" And they find the stockade.
I like
Crowd
this
loves the
crowd.
stockade. They stick him
love-
in a
Everybody
stockade
loves the
and they start pelting him with eggs. They just rush. They're all rushing off to shops to buy eggs, and they're going home, and they're rushing back with as many eggs as they can. And
I should have told people to invest in egg futures.
Isn't an egg future a chicken?
Wow. Wow.
Well,
The,
Aunt Melissa, you're so full of wisdom.
the Presiduke approaches and says, "Well done. Good work, everyone. The pay due to each of you is here." And she hands you each 500 gold
Ooh. Yeah, baby.
for saving the
What's
Dukedom of
this
Ducky.
for?
And here is another bag the commission for your company. Who should I give this to?
Probably the dog. He's the most honest.
To you,
I-
good
Yeah.
boy? You gonna give this to your guildmaster, Guildmaster Buttfair? Who's a good boy? Yes, you are.
We'll give it to him, but fair and square.
I put it in my grocery bag.
Expenses.
Excellent.
Oh no, he'll never get it back.
Oh, shish.
And when you
Was I like,
arrive,
He has to keep like putting his hand into the bag and put his hand into the bag.
and we'll jump cut to you arrive back at the Adequate Company headquarters, and he's like, "So you did it! You
I
saved
can't believe teleportation is so expensive, and you expected us to pay for it out of pocket.
Oh, this you remember. Everything else you struggle with, but you've remembered that. So where's the cut that comes to the Adequate Company? Can I have my money, please?
It's
Oh,
in
yes?
this guy's bag.
And
If
Here it
you
comes.
can find it.
what do you
Here
roll?
it comes. Oh yeah, it was D20.
A D20,
Here it is.
and you pull out.
10.
You pull out a tent that fits two.
Look.
And that is the end of our adventure.
No one ever got to learn or tried to learn about Aggie's curse. It's perfect.
Well,
yeah.
there's a space for another adventure because
Yeah, no one tell anybody.
this is technically the end of Adequate Company, but the theory behind this process is that the members of the Adequate Company can be anyone. So there could be in the future another quest. It could be some returning cast members, some new cast members, another 4-part series. Someday, it could well happen again. So maybe we will finally find out the truth about Aggie Ababa then.
Huzzah for our game master! Huzzah!
Huzzah for our game.
Huzzah!
Thank you, performers. You were brilliant. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This Saturday will be another role-playing session with Itamar. He'll finish his adventure. It's a choose-your-own adventure. You can all help him decide what happens. Next Monday is the next episode of Questions of Yalpalor, where we will presumably continue to race through the jungle and find out what happens with Dirt's stoned magic. All of the videos from this show will be up on YouTube, on the Figment RP channel forever, so share them to your friends if you've enjoyed them. Thank you very much, and have a lovely evening.
Stay safe and wear a mask. Thank you.
Let your beers be cold and your ribs be ribbed.
Remember.